Tell me why I suck. My favorite question to ask somebody who I respect and I want to learn from is, please tell me why I suck. It might seem a little crazy. It might seem a little out there, but here's why I do it. Feedback is so important for you to grow your business. You don't know anywhere close to everything you need to know to get to where you want to be. And you're going to get a lot of negative feedback. You get a lot of criticism. You get a lot of people who might be in your family or friend circle or people you went to school with who tell you their advice, right? Lots of people will give you unsolicited advice. That's not necessarily that helpful, right? Telling me that I suck is not the actual answer for people around you. But when it's somebody that you respect, who actually has information to give you, what happens is people are afraid of hurting your feelings. So there's somebody who you look up to, who might be able to give you the information. They would be afraid, just because it's normal human nature. Most people will not be direct, honest, blunt, tell you the hard facts and the truth, the whole truth, because they're afraid of hurting your feelings, right? But when you lead with "tell me why I suck," here's what happens. They might have 3 ideas for you. If you just ask for feedback, they're going to share their one idea. That's the safest. That's the simplest. That's the easiest. That's the least likely to hurt your feelings. If you lead with "tell me why I suck," tell me why it's like the worst thing you've ever seen. What they're going to do is say, well, it doesn't suck, right? Like, hey, you should be proud of yourself and what you made. But here's the 3 things I would do to fix it. You get a lot more truth. You get a lot more honesty because you led with "tell me why I suck." I remember doing a keynote at a YouTube event, and I shared this strategy, and that was the main theme for the ending. And they filmed it, and the MC came up and said, "What did you learn from Evan today?" And they all said, "We suck," which as a standalone doesn't really fit the believe vibe of what I'm usually going for. But it was funny, and they got the message across, because when I'm at an event like that with YouTube, there are a handful of people that I would listen to for advice, right? As you get higher and higher and better at something, you don't listen to everybody's opinion anymore. Now, if it's something like who I should profile next or some themes or content, definitely open. For its specific strategies on YouTube, you're going to start looking at people who have actually done it, right? As you get better at something, there's fewer people who can teach you. So there's a handful of people who I like to collaborate with and seek their feedback and counsel. And that's what I'll always say. Every time I'm at one of those events, I'll find those people. It's like 5 people, I can count on my hand. I would go, hey man, tell me why I suck. Like, you mind spending 8 minutes looking at my channel again and just tell me why it sucks and it's like the worst thing you've ever seen? And I'll say it exactly like that. And again, the response is always, well, dude, like, come on, you don't suck. You have 3 million subscribers. It's great. But you know what? Here's what I would do. 1, 2, 3. You're giving permission to people to be honest. You recognize that it's out of love. Some people will give you a lot of negative comments, not out of love, right? They'll tell you that you suck and all the things that are wrong, and who are you to do something like this? And what makes you think that you're good enough to do this? You don't have the education and family and connections and resources and money and smarts, and you're too ugly too, right? All of these things that people will throw at us, but they haven't done the thing that we're trying to do, right? If somebody hasn't done the thing that you want to do, their advice is not very meaningful. If anything, you should probably do the opposite, because they don't know what they're talking about. And yet we listen to these people, right? We often listen to the people who are closest to us because they're in our proximity. But if they haven't done the thing, you know, just because you went to high school with them doesn't mean that their opinion means something on the thing that you're trying to do. Chances are they took their shot at one point and they didn't hit it, and now other people around them can't have success either. That's what happens a lot of the times. So their advice is meaningless. But when you find the person and you seek out people who have done the thing that you want to do, you have to give them permission to be 100% honest with you. Now you might be asking, well, I don't know anybody. You know, I don't. Nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody who's done the thing at a high level. I can't pick them up and send them a text message or call them on the phone. Great. This is where intentional learning really makes a difference. I can't tell you the number of events that I've done, whether it's virtual or in person, where there's always Q&A at some point. So if you're going to an event where you're signing up for a Zoom call and the person who you want to learn from is on that call, what most people do is they become passive listeners. You're passively taking out your notepad and you're taking notes. You got your phone and you're like taking notes on it and like, oh, that's a good insight. That's a good insight. But it's passive because you are not going in to the event with an outcome. Your goal should be, if you want to make learning active, if you want to actually get the most from the experience and be able to make the contacts and get your questions answered, you have to know what the question is going to be that you're going to ask, right? So here's what you should do. First off, whoever your heroes, mentors, guides are, you want to follow them on all the platforms where they can go live. Just before this, I was live on Instagram and we had a whole bunch of people asking questions. If you want to talk to me, follow me on Instagram. Right? Join my Discord, Carmichael.biz. Get in there. We're having great conversations. But the people who are your heroes, follow them on the platforms where they might go live. Look at where they might be speaking at an upcoming event. And then when you go and attend that event, have a plan for your learning so that it's not just passively going through the exercise and activities that they gave you. That's all a bonus. If you're going to go to some conference and there's an activity sheet or workbook to go through, great, that's all a bonus. You need to know going in, what do I want to learn? If I got a chance to ask this person one question, what would that question be? What's the outcome that I want from this? Most people don't do that. And you get caught up in the hype and the energy and the motivation of, wow, so amazing, woo! But then you still didn't get the answer that you could have had if you're just more intentional. So you show up, and then when they do the questions, like, okay, we're going to Q&A, boom, you're the first one there. You're the first one there. You might be nervous, your heart might be pounding out of your chest like crazy, but you're the first one there. You're standing by the microphone, you're ready to go. You got your hand up before they even go to Q&A in the Zoom chat, right? Like you are ready to go with your question, the one that you want an answer to. And then you're going to ask the person, hey, here's what I'm struggling with. Here's what I'm working on. Tell me why I suck. And then you get the feedback. If you apply that strategy and go after the top 5 to 10 people in your industry, in your niche, who are doing a thing, you can get access to them. And if you intentionally show up with that one question that you want an answer to, and then you end it with, tell me why I suck, you'll get their brutal, honest feedback and get the advice you actually need to grow. When I'm looking at somebody's YouTube channel, for example, I have a lot of thoughts, and when I'm dealing with a high achiever, there is a totally different vibe when you're working with me and you're just getting started and you're at the beginning of your journey and you're not an achiever yet. It's a lot softer and a lot nicer. It's a lot more rah, you can do it. It's a lot more injecting belief and energy, like, hey, just get started, make your first video. It's okay if it sucks. Like, go, create momentum and energy. If you are a high achiever, and I know that I can push you a little bit further, it's a lot more blunt, it's a lot more bold, and it's a lot more to the point. It'll be a lot more, I pull up their channel, oh my gosh, okay, this sucks here. This you have to change right now. Like this banner is terrible. You got to move this. Your avatar is way too far out. These thumbnails need a total redesign, and just breaking them, boom, 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 boom. Like, okay, good. Give it to me. You can tell that they're not taking it personally. This is the problem. If you're not a high achiever, then you take it personally because you're so worried about what you're creating that any negative feedback you take personally, and then the people giving the feedback are too afraid to give you more feedback. That's why they'll give you 1 out of the 3. But if I don't know you, and even if you are at the start, if you led with, tell me why I suck, I would still tell you my honest opinions and give you the feedback that you need. Makes all the difference in the world. So step 1 is to go seek out the people. Maybe you know them already, or maybe you don't, but you're going to seek them out. You're going to join their events. You're going to get on their Zoom calls. You're going to follow them on Instagram or wherever they go live. You're going to follow them and make it your plan in the next 3 months to ask one of your 5 to 10 heroes this question, right? Whatever question you care about most. 2, you're going into the learning, into that event with the intention of, I am going to ask this person this question. You know it. And as soon as they go over to Q&A, or as soon as you see somebody in the hallway, you don't care about anything else that's happening at this event. The only thing that matters is that you get your question asked to this person, laser focused, so that you don't regret it later on, like, I wasn't and then the lineup gets too long and you don't get your question answered, right? It's the only goal. Anything else is a bonus. And then 3, as you're asking the question, you pose it, you say, tell me your honest feedback. I need it. Tell me why I suck. Do that. You get the honest truth that you need to actually help you accomplish your goals. If you want another Evan Rant video that just might give you the confidence you need, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. Learn to be patient with the results, but impatient with yourself. Patient with the results, patient with how long it's going to take you to get to your goals and where you want to go,